Hey everybody, welcome back to LudiaTV. I'm Brandon Lee. I get to be the host, and we're going to have a really great conversation today. It's on innovation. It's an innovation committee. It should be great for everybody. Scott, welcome to LudiaTV.
Thank you, Brandon. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so Scott LeFante, you are relatively new to Ludia.
Yeah.
And you are leading the innovation committee, which is such a great concept. I can't believe more companies aren't doing it. But before we go into the innovation committee, why don't you tell us a little bit about us and how you got to joining Ludia?
Sure. Actually, absolutely. So, I've been in the Microsoft Dynamics space for roughly about 15 years, but CRM for a really long time, 25 now. So it's been a long, strange journey. And so over this course of the last 6 or 7 years, I've really become very well known in the space around physical operations and field service. And so knowing and being able to attend conferences like UG Summit and all these other ones, I've gotten to meet great folks like Lucas Diaz and others, and really just had a great opportunity to come here and start something fantastic when it comes to innovation. And so I quickly hopped on it because I saw the tremendous value.
Well, I know you've got some big announcements coming up. You've got some really great IP coming out here pretty soon. But before we get to that, can you tell us a little bit about the innovation team? Like, what's your charge? What's your role, and what are you accomplishing?
Yeah. So really, I mean, our goal and objective is to be in the forefront of innovation, right? So when Microsoft or anyone else thinks innovation in the platform space of Dynamics or Power Platform, they're thinking Ludia, right? And so that is what gets me going every morning to understand what problems are we going to solve today, this month, this quarter, this half of the year, whatever it may be. And so that focus and that goal and objective to be the best out there is what is driving our team.
That's excellent. Now, on a month to month basis, what does that mean? What is the innovation team working on?
Yep. So right now, for example, we're working on what we're calling the technician experience. So what that really means is, right, the trials and tribulations of field service technicians out there today, right? The silver tsunami, the shortage of talent, the great resignation, right? Companies still have to solve their customers' problems. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that we're looking at is how can we utilize technology in the best possible way to arm these technicians with that so that they can go ahead and solve those problems the first time very effectively and efficiently. So we're focused really on certain themes. So right now our theme is that technician experience.
Well, coming from a homeowner who had a technician experience that wasn't ideal, it was, hey, our dishwasher's broken. They come out and looked at it and go, sure enough, it's broken. Got to order a part. And then, and then I get the call of, hey, we ordered the part, but it's wrong. So we're waiting for the new one. And, it was like a 2-week period by the time we got the dishwasher fixed. So if you and the Ludia innovation team are going to solve that, I'm right there with you.
That is the goal, and I think that's what we're calling the plight of the technician, right? They don't have the right information, the right tools, the right parts to solve a problem the first time, right? I think your situation is very similar to one that I've recently experienced, and I'm still dealing with it.
Yeah.
So how do we think about that? This is B2C. Think about B2B when there's thousands of dollars at stake on service contracts. And so how it's important to get that right and solved as the first time, right? And so that equates to thousands of dollars in potential lost revenue if that's not solved and customers look to go elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. So these business challenges around the technician, my understanding is y'all are developing some IP that's getting really exciting. You want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're looking to do, or I should say what we are doing and have accomplished and will continue to build it out, is really take the best of what Microsoft is offering in terms of artificial intelligence. Right. So everyone's heard a lot about Copilot these days. I mean, everywhere you go, there's Copilot, right? But what does that mean? And what else can it do? Right. So there's things with generative AI, there's things with open AI, so chat GPT and things of that nature, where you can ingest data from so many different sources, right, to ask it questions and solve problems, right? So, for example, one of the examples I use a lot, because I used to have solar panels and it would always go down, right? Hey, my solar panel inverter lost connectivity. What does that mean? How do I solve the problem? Right? So I can ask it questions from knowledge documents that I have there out on the web, data that's in Microsoft Dynamics, and I can start bringing in all of this data and seeing, all right, how was it solved recently? What's been the going theme in terms of the issue over the last 6 months, a year, whatever it may be, to arm these technicians with the power to hopefully resolve the problem the first time. All right. And so it could even be, right, a diagram on how to resolve this issue, right? So think about taking a document, ingesting it, and spitting out pieces that are relevant to a technician. I mean, that's the power of AI that I think everyone just gets a glimpse of what Copilot is, but realize what's behind the scenes and the power that it can bring to an organization. That's really the exciting things that we're kind of working on and will continue to expand upon here in the next 6 months or so.
Yeah. Wow. So, Scott, it sounds like there's a lot of innovation. What would anyone that's listening to Ludia TV today and they're looking to stay up to date and learn a little bit more about what you're talking about today, where would you point them?
A couple of places. One is, definitely take a look and listen to our Innovate Ludia podcast. Right. So we just started up a podcast that our first episode was earlier this month. And so it's all about innovation. Right. Innovation in not necessarily has to be field service, but physical operations space, Microsoft space in general. So I would start there. Others is, looking at our Ludia website and even on LinkedIn, whether it's looking at my posts that come out or the Ludia consulting post. We have a lot of different posts out there about innovation, and even not just innovation, but the trends and the challenges that organizations are facing today. Right, and how they can overcome them. I mean, so there's a lot of good information out there. And so hopefully, don't take my word for it. Go out and look at some of these sites and you'll see references to Service Council, Field Service Today. All these different sites have a lot of great information.
That sounds fantastic. Well, Scott, thank you so much for being with us today, carving out. I know you're very busy and a lot going on, a lot of innovation. Thanks for taking the time to meet with us today.
No, my pleasure, Brandon. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And everyone else, thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Ludia TV. We'll see you on the next episode. Take care, everyone.